Got a huge new banner leak. It looks like the Grinch leak number 2 is finally here. Let's discuss everything.
Block content.
What's happening, my Block buddies, and welcome to a brand new episode of Block Content's Leak Speak. My name is Callum, and this is going to be your content for today. Now, the last couple of months, I think even the last year, we haven't heard anything about the big Grinch leak. And of course, for those of you guys who don't know, that was this huge banner with a lot of information on it that ended up not being the real deal, or at least it might have been beta footage or beta images. But right now, we really have no way to tell if that was actually a big packaging. There's no one who came forward claiming that it was real. There was no one claiming that it was fake. That just ended up being a complete farce. Well, today we actually get to dive into the history a little bit more and discuss something brand new that might actually be pointing towards the future of that theory. Yes, we're talking about potentially the Grinch leak part 2, which is, of course, a phrase no one ever thought would be possible. No one ever thought that would actually be real, but we get to talk about all these different characters that might be coming to the game that might actually happen this time around. Now, of course, we've speculated so much the past couple of weeks, and we've kind of distilled it down to 3, 4, or 5 of these characters that really seem like they're shoe-ins right now, and pretty much none of those are included in here, which could, lend a little bit of credence to this, because of course there are always these out of nowhere choices. Now, what also is very interesting that a lot of people have instantly said, this probably isn't real, stuff like this happens all the time, but it has been a very long time since we've seen any sort of evidence that was actually corroborated with images, right? I mean, usually it's these huge text walls and other information like that, but today we actually get to break down images, and, we don't hate stuff like that. We really like to dive into everything that has to offer. And of course, I've been answering many of you guys' questions about new fighters and other games as well in our show Question Blocked, where I answer your questions. What do I think of your favorite games? How do you start making YouTube content yourself? Whatever you can think of, send your question through to blockedcontent@gmail.com, and I will answer your question live on the show in our next Question Blocked episode. So let's dive right on into the information here, and that was originally shared to us by our Facebook group. So thank you guys so much for being so vigilant and always looking over all the information that was sent there. And yes, it comes to us from a Twitter user that actually tweeted this out. So yes, a lot of people have been sharing this image with us. It's in every single inbox, so people have really been talking it up. But originally, this came to us from Matthew Foxwell, that was actually at ML Foxwell on Twitter, that shared this, saying, "New, obviously fake leak making the rounds right now. And what I hate about this, it's too blurry to see who the heck are even supposed to be on it." And well, that is actually quite factual. There isn't that much evidence here to suggest who the characters are. I mean, they're all big blurs, but today we actually get to break down exactly who we think the characters are and other people as well as their thoughts. So Matthew Foxwell also followed this up by saying, well, the tweet's starting to take off. Now at this moment, it already had 1.6k likes and then 240 retweets and about 130 comments as well. And he says, yeah, it's starting to take off, so I should follow that up, that apparently the characters included in here are Crash, Ryu Hayabusa, a character called Kubfu, Amaterasu, Yuri Lowell, and Soul Bad Guy, which is pretty interesting because those are not 4 or even 3 characters. These are quite a lot more, and I think that that's very interesting and maybe a little bit telling. Could this then be completely written off immediately, or could this be the future? Could this be another past that might include even more characters or even bonus content on top of that? Now, of course, what people have been talking about for the longest time is that we got fooled big time the last time, right? It was ultimately just someone who worked in some sort of company that could really show you that they had some sort of legitimacy with those, images that really felt like they were factory sealed. And right now, everyone feels really fooled by that. I mean, it was the perfect storm of information that some of it was real, some of it was, very clearly fake, but if you combine that all, it becomes the biggest sort of messing around with your audience that you can ever do. So yes, I was one of those people, back in the day. I think it was somewhere last year when we talked about that in full, we were really starting to root for the characters that were included in that banner. And of course, they didn't all seem to come true. Now, one of which, of course, BanjoKazooie, really did come true. That was our big wish upon a star that we were very happy that was actually real, but other than that, there were a lot of characters still left in the dust. I think back of a character like Mac Ryder that, yes, really feels like should be included in the roster, but wasn't. And why was that character not included? I mean, it is the perfect like retro rep, right? All of these characters that we get usually within those games are brand new, are, representing these newer franchises or newer games. And yes, what they usually also do is they represent stuff that is coming out or has just come out. So within those terms, they could really sell or promote something new. But within this character, it would be one of those Kid Icarus type situations where it may be a new graphical style or maybe a new take on a very old character or a retro character that would then be retrofitted to be in that new universe. And of course, it is Ultimate, so everyone is here. So looking back at the past is also something that they really try to do. So if we dive into this specific banner and those characters included, there are a lot of characters that do make sense. Now, of course, we've talked about Crash so much, and also, of course, Ryu Hayabusa is a character that I feel really fits within the Fighter's Pass as a whole already, with a lot of these Western reps already being represented, and now getting the chance to have another character from the Japanese audience that would really fit well, and having a move style that isn't represented already. Now, Cubfu, of course, a character we really thought that it would be Urshifu, because of course the final evolution would make a lot more sense, but right now anything is a go, and that piece of the artwork actually looks quite legitimate to me. So I would actually love to see that happen, because the character could potentially even transform in the final Smash, right? That would be something that would just be easily doable for, the animation team behind that. And then Yuri Lowell and Soul Bad Guy, or how you pronounce the last name, I think is very interesting for that segment of the audience. There is a little bit for everyone, as they like to say, with these characters and these situations. So I truthfully hope that something about this could be legitimate. Now, of course, it is getting increasingly easier to fake these types of informations, so we like to share them as they come in. And today, of course, having a big banner to break down, there are worse things, right? So it's really fun to kind of break down all the information. And of course, so I'd love to hear what you guys think of all the information shared today. What do you think about the banner? Are there characters in there that you really like, or characters that you don't know, or potentially even have thoughts about of appearing in the game? Maybe you even have a perfect trailer idea or a reveal in your head. Well, let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys think of this. If you comment down below, that could actually be featured and read out loud in the next video. And today's comment question is, which characters of this Neo Grinch 2.0 leak do you love to see in the game actually appearing right there? And as for a previous comment question winner, our answer comes to us from our very own user, Phantasm Wolves, saying, here's my idea for what Crash's trailer could be like. The intro cutscene begins, and we see the N64 commercial of Mario, Yoshi, Pikachu, and Donkey Kong playing, and the camera starts to zoom out of the commercial, and we see a TV, and it appears we're in an office setting of Nintendo HQ. Now, we start to see Mario and the other characters in Ultimate in-game walking around the HQ. Then we hear something going on top of the HQ. The whole building starts to shake, and the characters, including Mario and Sonic, start to run on top of the flight of stairs. Then we get a scene when we see an out-of-focus marsupial spinning around fighting against Incineroar on top of the roof. You start to hear familiar noises of a floating mask saying Rutuba around the orange figure, and an orange figure saying things like whoa, etc. When we go on to the characters running or flying up to the very top of the stairwell, Mario and Sonic are at the door of the roof of the HQ. They bust the door open, and everyone's seeing what was going on. They were shocked what they were seeing. The camera pans over to the orange figure spinning Incineroar off the building. Everyone, including Mario and Sonic, are shocked at what they're seeing, and the camera pans over to the orange figure from shoes and shorts, and we see Crash and Aku Aku. Crash hits a thumbs up, and we get the cinematic introduction of the character. He crashes the party, and we see Mario and Sonic run up to Crash as we go into gameplay showcasing Crash from doing breakdance attacks, yo-yo combos, fruit bazooka, TNT crates, slide kicks, crystals, and spins. And then we see Crash's final smash being able to become invincible with Aku Aku, and he runs into them, thus having to land on Cortex ship and getting blasted by Neo Cortex. It's destroying them and the ship. Then after we see Smash Brothers X Crash Bandicoot, we get a scene where it looks like as if Crash was outnumbered by the team. And then we hear, "Brother, need your help." And then we see Coco wanting to help Crash. Thus we see a short clip of Coco being an alternate costume. Now, Phantasm Wolf, I think that is really great imagery and a really cool imagination. So thank you so much for sending in your comments. And everyone, always sending in your comments is the sweetest thing that you can do. You know, it's really fun to read through you guys' thoughts about the videos and about the fandom. So thank you guys so much for sending in your comments. They're always a ton of fun to read through. And of course, a big shout out to our latest Patreon supporters and the super chat you guys sent during streams. You guys make this channel possible. So if you want to have yourself created in this style, or join me for a live discussion, or even have your own ideas become animations, go to patreon.com/blockedcontent. There's a bunch of incredible rewards there, and they're waiting for you. And remember, if you are not yet a member of the Blocked Content family yet, hit subscribe, smash that like button, and ring the bell for notifications, and all the news and fun that you care about will be delivered on the daily to you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you around the corner with, as always, more Blocked Content. See ya.